also looks 40, and he's just going through puberty.
I didn't know which one was speaking. Was Antov the one in the pink mask?
It's the one in the back. No, it's the one in the back.
Oh, I see. Okay.
With the blue cap on.
Yeah. Yeah. I think from a PD side of things, I mean, that mountain thing is pretty concerning. But for the most part, I think most of the people that should have been held accountable have either been held accountable or are no longer with us. So
don't you think I mean, look, this is purely a PR perspective, right? The fact that Brian walked, right? The fact that Brian walked and skipped accountability does not look great. Because that's the issue.
That's what Doc said.
How do we hold people accountable when they are unwilling to be held accountable?
Yeah. He walked out while we were deciding on what to do with him. So, yeah, wasn't exactly a lot we could do there, I'll be honest.
Also, I mean, okay, from my perspective, and I've tried to frame my argument about this whole thing from the beginning, from my first speech. I don't like the individual should be held accountable after the fact. I think some people should be barred from public service ever. I think all that's important. I don't think it's about people. I think the issue with the city is generally in San Andreas, people focus on individuals. They focus on scapegoats. And I think we both see that this is a systemic failing of our due process on a governmental level that needs some form of reform. And I don't want people to be like, well, look, all the bad people got fired, right? Like, let's move on. Because we'll be hearing, because there's always somebody else to take the seat. There's always somebody else who will, seize that power, claim that authority, and we'll be here again in another 3 months with hopefully where people haven't been lined up against the wall and shot summarily.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's very, I think it's very, the PD's in a very difficult position because
I think we all are.
Yeah. Like, for example, when it comes to like the EMS situation, everyone's always going to have different opinions. And, without a commissioner, there's not just one voice anymore when it comes to high command and PD. Yeah. There's a lot of different, it's a good thing. But at the end of the day, all of us have different opinions on that and the situations that occurred and the war and everything. So, I would love to come out and say that, the PD condemns what happened, but I'd be putting words in other people's mouths, and I wouldn't want to. We have to be unified, but also at the same time, if we came out and said something like that against the senator, then we might all be gone, and then who knows who's going to be appointed next, and whether they're going to hold people accountable the same way we are. It is a very difficult situation to traverse right now, but like to be honest with you, without giving details, because I don't want to give details at all, but the high command we have right now, I do believe to be very unified in our opinions on things. Some of us have different ways of getting there, really, and different opinions on accountability and stuff, but for the most part, it's working well.
It's like anything, right? It's like the judiciary as a whole. The first rule I was ever told by Dennis Labar and Wayne Knudsen when I was appointed as a judge was we stand together publicly, right?
Oh God,
you don't undermine another judge publicly. You don't undermine their ruling, because all you're doing is you're undermining the authority of the judiciary as a whole. Exactly. And I don't disagree with that. I don't, right? But you also can't allow yourself to be dragged to the lowest common denominator. You can't allow the public view of PD high command to be what is acceptable to the the person with the wildest opinion who's the outlier.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I made a personal statement, and I didn't make a statement with a bunch of other judges who I know agree with me. So Schwinghammer's statement is very different to mine. So we have different opinions, and sometimes you just gotta fucking be like, you know what? Let's stand up and say something, right? And I'm not telling you to go say something publicly, Richard. That's always one man's conscience is one man's conscience. You do what you do, right? But like, if we as a judiciary made a public statement and it wasn't just written by Alan Crane and the words of Alan Crane and we all got a say in it, but it was like what we all agreed to as a collective, it would get dragged down to one of the judges who basically told me it doesn't matter what a senator told me to do. Outside of asking questions, I would follow those orders. Like, because, yeah, that's what somebody told me.
It's pretty concerning. After everything,
isn't it, though? Yeah, after everything you've heard, after every step, every some orders are just fucking immoral. There are. I don't know how you feel about this, like as a man, but personally, I think some things are just evil. I think there are evil actions. There are things that cannot be justified, regardless of what's on the line, regardless of what the utilitarian value of that action is. It does not matter what is on the line. If it is the end of the world or not, I'm not gonna, I don't know, hit a baby with a hammer. I'm just not crossing that line. I'm not doing it. Some things are just evil. Some things you just don't do.
Yeah. I think I'm on very much the same page. You know, I've had in various conversations, not, necessarily bad ones, but
yeah,
it's come up as, when discussing the events, such as, like Brian, for example, it's, if you were in their position, they said to me, I don't think that, I guess let's talk generalized here. If you were on the ground and the senator told you to do something that you thought was wrong, that you would be able to say no in that situation. And to me, it's incomprehensible because I think compared to others, I uphold my ethics and morals a lot higher than I do, my life, for example. But that's not the same for other people. So obviously, those people saying that to me is very, I don't know. I've had to correct people when they've said that to me, really. But it's a perfect example of what was that? What was the experiment that they did?
Stanford. The prison experiment. Power.
It wasn't the prison experiment, but that is a good example. When they had basically someone in another room and there was like a electrocution device attached to their finger or something, and they were told that someone on the other side was getting electrocuted, and they kept basically someone just kept telling them what they were doing was okay and the right thing to do, and they'd turn the voltage up constantly, and they even though sometimes they would question it, they'd still go through with it to the point where it was obviously an experiment and it didn't happen, but the other person would die. And it was basically because these scientists, these people with a position of power, were telling these very normal people that what they were doing was right and the right thing to do, that we as human beings listen to those people beyond our natural instincts. And it's perfectly normal, and it's a normal reaction. But the issue is when people who are in a position of power are listening to that as well. And I think it's important that like people like me and you and Crane and the commissioner have enough self-control and enough willpower that if we are told to do something that is morally wrong, that we have the willpower to say no. And Axel didn't. Brian didn't. I don't know about Crane. I really don't know, but it sounds like he was willing.
I mean, straight up, like, let's be honest here, right? Alan Crane's in his position because the Senate chose him to be in this position. He is beholden to the Senate for his job. He was chosen to be the Chief Justice because the Senate liked him enough to give him that job, right?
Yeah.
And then every law that's been put in place over the past 2 years has generally been put in by Alan Crane, including the Senate having ultimate authority and the Sanguine Isle things, and then the revocation of the Sanguine Isle things, like all of it. Like, even if he doesn't morally agree, at some point he has been actively complicit. I don't know. I feel like we've all got to be accountable. I feel accountable. I feel somewhat guilty that when we first removed due process from a citizen, which was Michael Simone, right? That I didn't stand up publicly and make the stance I've made now for one man that I've made for 50. I should have.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, I argued he should have got a lawyer. I literally went out my way to get Reggie Might his bar license back so he'd have a lawyer, he'd have his trial, he'd get his day in court. Because regardless of what he did, he deserved that, like every citizen. But publicly, I didn't make a stance, and I'll always feel guilty about that because now we're here and it's 50 people and not one. Like, and if that amount of culpability, me not standing up and with the rest of the judiciary at that point, means that the people of San Andreas feel like I should never be a judge again, I will accept that consequence.
Yeah. I think I'm on the same page when it comes to, you know, I guess allowing or questioning the PD being sent over and not doing more. But I think honestly, we're beyond the. I think we're beyond, like you said, we're beyond thinking as individuals at this point. Nothing is going to change if we, as like me and you, just hold ourselves accountable. It's up to the city to hold the Senate accountable.
That's it. That's the step, right? The step is to figure out what the people want. Nobody's asking them.
Yeah. I guess that's the next step that needs to be undertaken. Yeah, and figured out. Because right now it's not clear. It's really not. I mean, let's be blunt. There is a step, and it comes. I don't know where it comes in the sequence of the right thing to do, but what the senator did was in prison that day when he shot Brad was attempted murder. And nothing in the legislation states that he is exempt from the law. How that would play into the accountability side of things is, or what, I think it needs to happen. I think he needs to be upheld to that charge. But it's whether or not that comes after.
That's my point. This is my point, Richard. Like, honestly, looking at them, listening to Kyle Pred's testimony as to what happened that day, TJ Walker's testimony of what happened that day, Veronica Mars's, like, I've heard testimony from a lot of people. A lot of it sworn in too, right? Like I've heard it firsthand, and I think people did horrendous things all over that place, and they should all be held accountable. I think everybody in jail should probably be in jail, but we don't know because we never had trials. And everybody deserves a day in court. Everybody.
Yeah, I agree. But right now, what are we doing for them? What can we do for them, really? I think it's like, I had a conversation with TJ Walker, and, whether you like the guy or agree with him or not, he made the point of, we were very, like, we clicked our fingers because what we felt was right, and 2 people were released from prison. Carmine and Jebediah Musk.
And also, I think there's civil cases coming in on those 2 as well. And there should be.
Yeah. No due process, just... Who's that doing any good? And, what's going to happen after 30 years? when
Richard,
they're
do you
out.
remember? Do you remember the public sentiment? When there were separate laws for like, and I know there are again, right? Separate laws about assaulting an officer and assaulting a person, and how it's created this like two-tier system we used to have in the city where officers' lives were considered more valuable than the standard citizen.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you not find it exceedingly strange that Johnny Devine is getting a full trial and like nobody else did?
Yeah. Pretty interesting.
And he deserves that trial, like every citizen does. But he's the only one. Carmine Costello gets fucked because nobody likes Carmine Costello, and he gets overlooked. But like, he should. The justification for sending him to jail was insane, from what I'm seeing. Maybe on the sedition charge, maybe. But even then, from my understanding of what happened there with Carmine, he texted a private individual a photograph he took, and that individual was the one who leaked it to the public, and yet Carmine was sent to jail.
Yeah. I think this is the issue when there's no due process, is that people slip through the cracks. And like, it's a perfect example of why we have systems in place to uphold the law and stuff like that. It's just one thing after another, really.
Yes.
This whole situation should be in a textbook in a university after this, about what not to do.
I keep telling everyone we're in like an existential crisis in San Andreas. Like in Siobhan, Judge Fitzpatrick keeps referring to it as a constitutional crisis. And I think we're all on the same page that like we're at a watershed moment where we need to decide as a society who we are, what we want to be. Siobhan keeps quoting JFK at me. She keeps saying, those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable.
Yeah.
And she ain't wrong.
And that's the worry. That's what I've said to people about this whole situation, is that, you know, as much as we want to do the right thing, us doing the right thing could get a lot of people hurt. But that shouldn't stop us doing the right thing.
This, like, these are the history, the lessons that history has taught us, right? Evil occurs when good men and women say nothing, and that, as Nuremberg told us 80 years ago, I was only following orders isn't fucking justification. People need to make a stand. People need to stand up.
Yeah, but even still, you know, we have criminals still shooting at police every day.
Yes, and like, I walk into the courthouse and there's warrants waiting for me on the desk. I walk into the courthouse, the subpoenas waiting. I walk into the courthouse and fucking Jim and Tim Littleman are there screaming that they need a bench trial. Like every day it happens, right? Like there's a day-to-day necessity of just doing our jobs and being available and doing the things we need to do to keep things moving. All understandable, but like there's this big picture going on and it can't be ignored any longer.
What do you think we should do? What do you think the first step is?
First step? I've been talking to the Department of Justice, the people I trust, the people who are have indicated to me they want to take a principled stance. I am collating a bunch of public statements, as Libby asked me to, right?
Yeah.
So I'm collating all that. I think when we go public with that information, with our public statements, we give it a day, let people like absorb what, you know, the public servants of San Andreas have to say. And then we start organizing across all time zones, town hall meetings. We just throw it open, we start talking. And then once we know what the people do, that's when we start to push for things like voting, right? Like we get the will of the people, we get the mandate, and we push peacefully for as much political engagement as we can get. That's the only way I can do this. Every day I'm tweeting to stop the violence and stop targeted attacks on people because I think that is not the future. That just leads to a different hellscape than the one we live in.
True.
So I think we've just got to engage hard publicly. We've got to stop just talking insularly to each other and like actively engage with fucking the day-to-day citizens who work a burger shot, who fucking, you know, are holding it down running sanitation, who are doing those little jobs. And then, you know, some of the affiliated groups need to be talked to too.
Yeah. Hey, have you spoken to the mayor?
Maya?
The mayor, sorry.
The mayor. I spoke to
God, he's so
Andy the day after the war. So I know she was on the island.
What?
I know she wasn't. At least that's what I remember hearing. I think she said her and a couple of deputies were there. Maybe they were just on the Leviathan. But like,
I don't remember that. I was on the Leviathan. Maybe,
I know.
Maybe? I don't know.
So I had a conversation with her. Basically, it was in relation to Norman Adams' conduct. Me and Norman went for a meeting with Andy, and we were talking, and she said she was, you know, a little bit more engaged than I thought she was, but that it hadn't leaked publicly yet, right? I don't know what the mayor's official public reaching position is going to be.
Turo, is that you? You okay?
Yeah, I'm just off duty chilling, man.
All right, just making sure. If you're in duress, blink twice.
Doesn't blink.
Good, good. All right, take care, mate. Sorry about that.
I know multiple deputy mayors are very unhappy about it all.
Yeah, I've spoken to her, so she's made her point pretty clear. I think there's a lot of people on. Wait, hold on. What the fuck?
Switch and Elgin.
Hey, your alarm, please.
76. I hear.
Head down. Police, freeze now! You are not leaving with her!
For attaching.
400 and activate Black Buffalo, westbound Vespucci is got an off-duty officer inside Ethan Turo, 3 armed suspects, westbound Vespucci Boulevard.
I'm just gonna slip into the back seat here.
Yeah, take care. I can drop you off if you want.
If you want to just drop me off, I can make my way back. Absolutely.
We're continuing westbound Vespucci Boulevard.
What's the aggressivity level?
Turo's out of the vehicle. Turo's out of the vehicle.
Is there still hostages?
Never mind. I think Turo hit a fire hydrant. All right, Question, I'll catch up with you, okay?
He's safe. No problem.
Yeah, he should still be in the car.
Might have to come back.
I didn't mean to hit them.
Yeah, they're trying to pull up to the front of this bank.
I don't think they're gonna be able to get him. Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
should be there?
Here. They have the hostage. 78 at the bank. Affirm, we have an off-duty officer held up at the Bay City Bank. Looks like 4 robbers. Yes, 4 robbers. 3 so far have shown they have guns.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen and criminals, who you have in custody is an off-duty police officer. You have one chance to release him, and you will be free to go.
One female looks to have a hidden mask pink hair.
You know what happens when police officers get kidnapped.
Right now.
I actually don't. This is my first time doing this.
Okay, well I'm gonna strongly recommend you all lower your firearms.
Has anyone already?
And we end this peacefully.
I don't listen. We've been trying to look for a hostage for.
Speak up, ma'am.
Hey,
We've
well,
been
listen,
looking
we
for a
need
hostage for a
we need
really long time.
about
Did you say
7
you-
minutes.
No, you know, we're not getting time here. That officer's
about
getting back
7
in
minutes.
custody.
We need about 7 minutes.
Okay, you're not listening to me. You have an off-duty police officer in your possession currently. You need to release him now.
We need about 7 minutes, sir.
Okay, do you speak English? Yo hablo anglais? Tu penses français? No Spanish,
Leo speaks
so.
Spanish. Leo speaks Spanish.
Yo se lo digo. Ahí está.
No.
Jimmy, te lo tengo que decir en español, brother. You llevaste un policía. Listen to me, Jimmy. Un policía off duty. Y si no lo suelta, te van a joder, brother. Te van a matar, te van a disparar. They're gonna, they're gonna.
All right, listen.
They're gonna duty you.
So what happens if we let him go right now with this bank?
If you let him go right now, we'll allow you back in the vehicle and you can drive away. And it'll be a normal pursuit, just like you were just driving
We
away
just
from the
saw
bank.
J1 on Vespucci before this. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, understand? That sound good? It's a nice, peaceful resolution.
That sounds fine.
Okay. All right. I'll go tell everybody. All right. Don't worry about that. That's just a negligent discharge by one of the cadets. Okay.
People are shooting outside.
No. Nobody's shooting. Okay. It's just an idiot with a gun. All right. So I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna tell everybody that you're gonna let the guy go and it's gonna be nice and peaceful. Okay. And you guys are gonna have a normal
we still need
pursuit.
about 6 more minutes, though.
No, you're not having 6 more minutes.
We need 6 minutes. We need 5 minutes.
Oh God.
I'm asking you now.
They're gonna come out and they're gonna.
Listen, I thought you said if we release him, it'll be safe and peaceful.
Right now, you can release him and it'll be safe.
I understand here.
Stand by. This is escalating.
Right now.
But I need 5 minutes.
I'm telling you that that's not going to happen. The deal is you let him go now and there can be a peaceful resolution to this.
All right. If I let him go right now, what happens for the next 5 minutes?
That's that's completely up to you. I just want that officer safe.
All right.
Okay.
I mean, currently the officer's safe. The only way the officer will not be safe is if
Let's
you guys do something
let's
stupid.
not kid ourselves and say that a loaded firearm pointed at somebody's head is safe. Okay.
I mean, he hasn't been shot currently, correct?
Okay. All right, that's a
Sure
straw
as
man
I hope
argument,
not.
sir, and let's speak like adults here, okay?
I'm
you have
speaking to you
that
like an adult.
you have that gun pointed at him because you're threatening to kill him, okay? So that we don't shoot you all right now.
He's our leverage. Because listen, we were struggling, and there was some cop at fucking Burger Shop. We were trying to get a hostage, and he shot our tire out. We had a gun
Yeah, he
pointed at
just
someone's
shot
head.
us.
Right, because you were trying you're trying to take somebody hostage.
Yeah, but he was walking out, and we were leaving because we left without the hostage. He still shot the tires.
Right.
You're waiting for the vault to open. Right.
Okay, right. Let's not talk about the past here, okay? You've got an off-duty officer in custody right now, and that can't be
He's not in cuffs.
All right, fine.
He's
you have him
detained.
hostage.
He's detained. That's what you guys
Right.
say. He's
Okay.
detained.
You want a PD interview next?
Sure.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law.
Okay, right. We've been messing around for long enough, okay? I need you to bring that man outside and then you can get in your vehicle and leave, okay?
Currently, when we're done, and we want safe passage and no spikes.
I need literally 2 minutes. They're not listening to you, Dark.
Okay. I understand. You've made your decision. All right. As long as that hostage gets out safely, you'll be free to go.
Okay, sounds good.
Here's what I found.
Right, 400, I need units set up at every direction they're going to travel. When they leave, we're going to be opening fire and killing these 4 people, correction. Okay, free passage, no spike strips. Whenever you're done, we will, you can walk this officer outside. You can take him to the left, okay? You can get into your vehicle, and then you'll be free to go. All right?
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. There's no more negotiations to be had, okay? So you rob this bank, you do whatever you need to do. As long as you don't harm the hostage, everything's going to be okay.
Listen, I don't want to harm
We're
this
not
hostage.
gonna hurt him at all.
Right. The gun's pointed at his head says otherwise. I'll be honest.
But we're not harming him.
No, I understand, but there's a threat to harm. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
I mean,
No, fair enough.
that's fair. But like, I don't know. I saw him walking around, and Mr. Leo's about to get a
How old are you guys?
12.
07, same family.
Actually, I turned 13. I turned 13 next week.
Oh.
Never
All
back
right.
down. Never what?
Never killed a child before. It's the first time for everything. You alright, Jerome?
Yeah, I'm okay. Okay. Somebody would probably want to tell Shirley that I'm fine. I'm on the phone with her.
Shirley? Okay.
Yeah,
Shirley Lemons?
Yeah.
You might miss the barrage.
Alright, we'll let him know.
You'll be all right.
It's all right.
Been through worse, you know. Went to Sanguine and all. And say nothing. All right, I got
Yeah,
this.
this man is a hero.
You kidnapped a war veteran guy.
He's a war
Debatable.
hero.
I
Think
can't
about
believe
what
it.
you're doing.
Copy that. 76.
Debatable.
76.
What do you mean debatable? Okay, let's talk about it. How's it debatable?
I heard you guys strapped a bomb to an EMS.
Again with the you guys.
Yeah, affirm the
Oh,
individual in the back.
You know,
Yeah, I'm
this
saying
one
the
bank
same
robber
thing.
once, like 4 years ago, shot the hostage. Why do you guys always shoot the hostage? Just ridiculous.
I mean,
Yeah, why are you criminals all the time?
we're not
You
all
like
the same.
that?
We haven't shot him.
Oh,
What?
Exactly.
Oh, you're
I
not all
didn't
the
strap
same.
no
Exactly.
bomb to
We're not all the
nobody.
same. Fuck you. Wait, you
What?
Wait,
That's
you
not nice.
Actually against you.
That's not nice.
Too bad.
Everybody calm
It's
down,
all-
please. Everybody calm down.
It's okay.
I
I'm
just
calm.
want to go home and watch Ninja Turtles, okay?
I'm a lot calmer because Leo's massaging my back. I
You might
feel a lot
wanna
better
come
now.
over to where I am. I'm not
Aw.
sure. You might get shot in the middle of the road there. People be in position on the other side to shoot.
Right.
Further down.
Clock's ticking. What's happening? You said 2 minutes. By my watch, it's been 3.5.
No, we got about like a minute and a half.
Okay, listen, there's this thing called a watch, lady. I'm wearing one.
Well, I forgot mine at home today, so
Yeah, that's
you know what?
okay. When I'm telling you, it's been longer than 2 minutes. So if you want to shout your friend to get out here, otherwise the
20
deal's
seconds.
off.
You said
20
20
seconds.
seconds.
20 seconds. Okay, 20,
I'm just grabbing this
19,
cash right here.
18, 17,
Add the Mississippi
16.
at the end.
15 Mississippi, 14 Mississippi, 13 Mississippi, 12 Mississippi, 11. Sorry, do you hear me in the back? 10 Mississippi,
uh,
9 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. Ah, that's good. Good lad. Good lad. Okay, follow me out this way. They're coming out now.
The gun will only remain on this man.
Sidewalk. You guys gotta get ready.
Fontaine, scan out, please.
All right, wait for them to leave.
They are in the.
and
I'm not robbing this
now,
place.
they're leaving, they're leaving. Shoot 'em.
So put your hands up for me.
Leo, put your hands up, Leo.
Sure.
Up against
him
the
in
wall.
cuffs,
Up against the
you
wall. Up against the wall.
Yeah,
Up against the
sure,
wall.
sure.
Don't move. Don't resist.
Stats on the subjects.
Right down, we have still have the lead.
10-4, Lee's in custody. Good work.
Can I get back up all strong?
EBS
Yeah, I'm
on, everybody
behind you,
inside, make stuff known.
Vote's clear.
Hold the trunk, I'll pop it.
Oh, hey.
Alright, we're good.
We were going to clear.
All right, 400, that's going to be all subjects in custody. We can turn this down from a, we can roll this down from a 78 to a normal call. If you're one of the first 5 units on scene, then just stay here. Everybody else is going to go.
Copy that.
Yeah, no, you're being you're under
I don't
arrest.
It's taking me a
Break
second.
it.
I think I just gotta take these people out of the car. I need 3 units to come down and just put all these suspects in cuffs for me, please.
Thank you, Dark. I really appreciate it.
It's okay, Troy. I told you to blink twice if you were in duress, man.
I wasn't.
I
then.
told
All of a
you.
sudden These guys rock up.
1,
To take Leo.
Yes, please, Stephanie.
Hey, you're under arrest for robbery of a financial institution. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you do say can will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to an attorney during any legal question. If you can't afford one will be provided for you by the state if available. You understand your rights to them to you today?
He's a hell of a thing.
We need one more AO for the pink-haired individual, please.
We have an EMS and a brown jacket on scene. She's
Yeah, he's going to need EMS assistance on that.
give medical.
Let me place him into cuff first.
Who's the lady in the brown jacket?
EMS, start.
I'm an EMS. I'm
Oh,
right
great.
along right now.
I understand. All right.
So do GSR, check radio channel, all that good jazz.
Listen, this is why you work with the police, ladies and gents. This wouldn't have happened if you just cooperated with me. Well, I hope you're alive.
95 South processing officer.
This one needs one, right?
And then
Are we missing one lady
Yeah, well-
to get
There's still one.
Turo, do you need a lift, pal?
There was a person roaming a back alley. Careful.
I'll be alright.
Was it? You better,
I was on 480 route, just kind of wandering around.
Let's get you a lift
I gave him
somewhere.
a chance, you know. I told him, I said, "Hey, I'm a cop. You know, I don't know if you want to do this," and they're like, "I don't care."
Are we gonna have to process?
Seth.
I know. Every time I
Okay,
have
you're
a cadet,
handling
I have
Leo?
to process a suspect. I'm not doing it.
I'm gonna.
Fine. I'll.
Confirm.
All right, David, can you process someone? This is me.
Oh, I'll take her.
Yes,
I
thank
have
you.
one for the pink hair. She's right here.
Turo, I'll give you a lift. Come on.
Oh, thanks.
Wait, hold on. Where's the car?
Okay, I'm just picking up his radio just so he can give me.
Thank you. How you doing?
So I can
And I
see.
told him, I was like,
No
"Listen,
problemo, sir.
I don't know if you want to do this. I mean, I'm a cop.
Stephanie from 400.
You gotta get kidnapping of a government employee.
Right, you were first on scene with me, so I want you to take over processing. Just make sure everything's running
I don't
smoothly.
care.
Okay.
Copy.
And then they went into the bank.
Are we good to call
lot of cops
this code
showed up.
for EMS?
And
Yeah, famous code 4.
And then,
Same thing.
then
We
they
found a channel
refused
for the
to
cleanup for this
let me
basically.
leave, and they insisted on doing their bank. So as soon as they left, they got shot.
We'll.
Where do you want to go?
Just Legion Square's fine.
Our report
thank
is
you.
up 92099.
I don't know, Shirley. You heard it. I was on the phone with you. I told them, I'm a cop.
Dispatch,
I'm
what's
a
the channel
cop.
for this
Yeah,
cleanup for
I don't
basically?
really want to do
Channel
this.
1 for
And they're
cleanup
like,
on
I
base.
don't
Channel
care.
1.
Radio check.
Can you?
They did.
Another one
They
for
did.
EMS.
God. All right. Well, that's kind of how my day's going right now. So. You working right now? What are you doing? Ooh, this actually works. Thank you, Dark.
Go to the rental spot at least. Get yourself a car. Jesus Christ, Turo. You're not going to take care of yourself.
I mean, I have a house, but I can just walk. I like walking.
Okay, all right. Don't
Well,
get
this is a very
kidnapped again,
walkable
Turo.
city, actually.
I don't want to kill too many people today, you know? Kill a child. $640 from 400.
And
Do you need anything from me? Yeah.
if you short statement or a push channel should be good there. That's all.
All right, Jeff. I'll get it done.
Appreciate it.
Hello, Mr. Velsing.
Hey, Dark, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing. What's up?
I was told to reach out to you because of stuff that I saw on the island during the war. I'm not high as shit on morphine anymore, and I'm taking lesser painkillers. So been told I can actually start talking about this stuff.
And who told you to reach out to me?
I was talking to Grayson. He said talking to you or Libby would be good based on some of the things that I've seen. Because I was there start to finish for the war. War crimes.
Okay. Yeah.
Everything from bombs to false flagging to EMS, etc.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think I'm very much aware of everything thus far. So I don't want to waste your time by you telling me that stuff and having to relive that stuff. I'll tell you what, Velsing. Why don't you give me right now? Just list off the same thing what you just did about the war crimes. Anything you think was wrong that occurred on that island, list it out, and I'll tell you if I already know about it.
Okay. The torturing of prisoners of war.
Was that by us or Sanguine?
By Sanguine. Brian having a meeting the day prior, basically insinuating he's going to black site people.
Yeah, I
and
wasn't
other
aware of
members
that.
of MCU basically being okay with it.
Dark, you busy?
Yeah, I'll catch up with you, Harvey, soon, alright?
Okay.
Let's see. I'm sure you know about the Veronica situation, how
yeah.
the call was made not to bring her out of the basement. And of course, nobody listened to that, and we brought her out of the basement.
There was an order to not bring her out of the basement?
Yeah. I believe the senator and Brian were saying, hey, just leave her in there. And once everybody but her was taken out, they said, yeah, we got everyone. We went back in to bring her out because we're not going to actually leave somebody in there that we just sent in there on a volunteer mission.
Yeah, that's new. Okay. All right. It sounds like we need to have a proper sit down. And to be honest, with all the information you have right now, I don't have a lot of time tonight. So will you be around tomorrow?
Yes, I will be around from storm through the funeral.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try and catch you around that time. But we will definitely have this conversation. I just want to be able to give it the time it deserves. And that isn't what I have right now. I don't know, just in case you're not aware already, Axel, the commissioner, is dead, and Brian is no longer a member of the police department. Just so you're aware.
Yep. I stood outside the morgue, high as shit on morphine when Axel died, as I do with any officer that passes while I'm on duty or around. I heard about Brian from Twatter, and then Subble told me that's how you guys found out as well.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Let's see. I also had something in regard to Bison, but I'm just going to talk to Sweets about it because he got shot down in the war and then came back.
Yeah, talk to Sweets about that.
I got the Walter Christmas, false flagging, the Sanguines shooting and RPGing EMS before Christmas even got there.
Yeah, I think I'm very aware of those things. Like I said, I think I definitely want to have a chat to you in detail and get some notes on everything. But we'll do that tomorrow, should we get the time. All right. I'm glad you're doing all right, though, man.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up because I was there start to finish, and I saw a lot of things and everything. Right, so I wanted to make sure if you needed anything, I can maybe provide the perspective of someone boots on the ground.
Yeah, of course. All right, that'll be perfect, Han. Thank you very much.
All right, appreciate you, Dark.
All right, yeah, take care. Bye bye. More phone calls.
Hi, Dark.
Hello, Mr. Hardcastle.
How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
Not bad. I have a quick question for you. Do you have the ability to edit MDW access, like where people's tags are and stuff?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm employed with the hospital now, and I have access to my MDW, but I still have all my PD tags.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I don't want to. I have to use it for some things like emergency contacts and stuff, but I don't want to have access to everything because I have access to everything still.
Right. What's your state ID?
1501.
All right, I'll get you sorted, and I'll give you a ring back, and you can check for me. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, that should work. Yeah, I just have like all my PD tags and all next.
Yeah. Yeah. 1501.
Thanks, Doc. 1501. Yep.
All right. Take care.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
The war is the gift that keeps on giving. You're not wrong, dude. You're not wrong. If what Han is saying is true, that's so bad. It's like, obviously it doesn't matter as much because the Senator's never going to get charged for anything like that, but it's still good to know, you know? Wait, I actually don't know what these are.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, good, thank you. Give me 1 second just to
no
sort this MDW thing out.
All good.
Hey, Dark.
All right, open your MDW and see if it's still there.
Yeah, checking right now. Zach's taking his time. Good. Yes, I don't have any rolls. I can't see anything there.
All right, perfect. All right,
Perfect.
thank
Thank
you,
you, Dark. I appreciate you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
You wanted to talk to me just now? Fuck. Is it Kovacic? Hello? Hello?
I was just grabbing some stuff from the army.
Hey, do you want to speak to me again?
Yeah, just real quick.
Yeah.
As far as communication goes with High Command, we want to give you guys a good update on what's going on. I've been made aware a couple of times now that you just weren't being given the information that should have been being given to you guys, so you know what the unit is actually doing.
Yeah.
And that's obviously, yeah.
I've been informed Tuesday meetings is supervisor meetings, and then Wednesday, every other Wednesday for a general meeting. Is that right? Or
that's right. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We may be doing every Wednesday just for the foreseeable future while the unit gets righted, you know, as far as general meetings go. But yeah.
But yeah. Listen, I think I'll be honest. Those briefs are great, and I think they should keep happening, and we should keep seeing them. But at the same time, I think there's definitely a separation between High Command and MCU in that this is not me trying to be like, I want to say what happens and what goes and stuff like that. But it's more like the way it's been run up to this point has been very much its own autonomous entity that acts alongside the PD, where basically what I'd love to see, and you know, it doesn't have to be fixed, and I'd love to see it tried out, and this is my own personal opinion, and I'm not speaking for High Command, but if there was like you know, maybe with the supervisors, like on a Tuesday or something, if there was a brief you know, to High Command about the updates or new cases, and obviously High Command might have directives there that they would like, MCU to take, and oftentimes, it's hard to, we don't often give those kind of directives because we haven't really known what's been going on. Whereas that might change if we're, in the room where it happens and being updated as we go. We might have, certain things that we think might be beneficial for the case, or maybe, simple things like, we're in the room, we're like, hey, we're hearing from command that there's a lot of drugs in Vinewood. We need you guys to, look into that. And then next week, the next Tuesday, we hear back on that thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
A bit more involved and interactive than just, hearing back, really. And, I don't want to, it's not set in stone. I'll have a chat to the rest of High Command and see what they think. And, well, what do you think, personally? Be honest.
You just expressed why I wanted to speak to you. I wanted to set up something with what you just expressed as well. I think High Command needs to have face-to-face with us. We need to be integrated again. This is not the CIA. This is not the FIB. This is not a standalone department. This is a unit inside the Unified Police
Department. But you think with the Twitch Prime, buddy. Welcome to Sock.
It needs to be as such, and it needs to have someone above even the quote-unquote director, or whatever that title may become, who has look, that title has to have oversight. It has to have checks and balances, and I'm the one in that title, so that's why I'm saying it. We've got to have High Command face to face and High Command direction. I'm not saying that we need you to hold our hands and tell us everything we should be doing as detectives, but there are priorities out there, and I know that things were falling to the wayside, and there's also a whole lot of I don't want to say politics. It's not really politics or optics, but it's just it's culture, right? Right now, the culture, like I talked to Barrick last night about Shift 3. Shift 3, they like their detectives that they have. Remington, Churro, Jonna, they those people, they mesh well because they were born and raised in Shift 3.
Oh, LSPD.
The issue is when myself, Harvey, some other people who do, stay up a little bit into Shift 3, sitting around doing paperwork at the end of the night or trying to, cook and chat things over on subpoenas and all that. But the problem is Shift 3 isn't like Shift 2. It's an island, and they don't have the manpower to have 4 detectives standing on the roof doing that stuff while they're also trying to balance, multiple violent 37 alphas and S+ boosts and stuff. The optics are not good. People think that the detectives that come from other shifts just sit around. They don't want to chip in. They don't want to help. And I can't really argue with that appearance because you know what? It's happening. I saw it myself, and I have to say that I was kind of guilty of it myself, even in some ways. So I want to right that wrong as well. I want to start putting a little more time into Shift 3 myself even, and responding to those calls, getting out there and showing face. And I want to make sure the detectives who aren't Shift 3 detectives, who already know how that shift rolls, are chipping in. And if they don't want to chip in, I got a little bit of pushback. Well, I don't want to go to these booths or whatever when I'm trying to wrap up my paperwork for the night. And I told them, well, then you need to not be on Shift 3. I don't. You have to chip in if you're on duty. I can't tell you that you have permission to just sit around and not chip in.
Yeah, I think, I'll be honest, I do see some issues with that perspective from a patrol standpoint, when it's like the question is, if you've got a lot of paperwork to do and a lot of work that doesn't require you going outside the police department, and you're having like a late night and you're putting a lot of work into something, but then someone tells you to stop working on that murder case to go assist with a boost, like that's not going to feel good. I think both sides have points here. I think this is one of those issues where people shouldn't have issues with the other side. They should have issues with the bigger picture. Like, for example, that might not happen if we had a way to access all our files without being on duty. Would be, another thing. Like, that would stop that happening, for one thing. But then there's also the case of, like, people wanting to be there and be together talking about something, like me and you right now, if we were working a case. Like, that's another thing someone wants to do, and that's useful for investigative purposes, so we don't want to drag people away from that. I think, I think this might be more of, this is probably less of a you issue, and more of a high command police issue of, the balance of listen, I'm not going to stop you from doing anything. You do whatever you want. What I'm saying is I will also look into it from my side of things, because I don't ever want to. I guess there's one side is have cops out there that are risking their lives because they don't have enough units. But then I also don't want the people who are putting in a lot of hard work into investigations to feel like they can't stay up late and do overtime essentially because they're gonna have to be dragged into patrol calls. Like I think,
yeah.
I don't want you and patrol at each other's throats when it's not either of your faults and you are all doing the right thing.
Yeah, and that's like I said, Harvey had a chat with Willie. I guess somebody made a complaint about it on shift 3, as well as something to do with the prison, and Harvey just kind of spending a lot of time up there at the prison, maybe not responding to 77 requests, stuff like that. It was just a concern or whatever. But Willie and him handled it. I was not in that conversation. But shift 3 was brought up, that was mentioned, and Harvey was with that. He stretches out across shift 3, and he does kind of know the tone in shift 3 and all that. But I guess it was implied that he was kind of not chipping in, and the detectives in general. But yeah, if you would like to handle that from your end, and try and smooth that out, let them know that we're not trying to dodge any work out here. We are sometimes wrapping it up in the night. It might not be the best optics when people are begging for 77, so we just can't stop what we're doing in the middle of what we're doing. But
yeah,
I don't want the impression to be, yeah, we're detectives, so we don't have to deal with your calls, because that's just not. I mean, sir, I'm going to be honest. A lot of what I have to write here are the wrongs of public appearance and optics in the department and stuff. A lot of what I have to write here are the way people were just completely disregarded when it came to MCU and even inside the unit, even in some ways, Operationally, I think we're doing okay. We've got really great detectives doing really great work, and it's still happening right now. It's more about the fires that weren't being put out, and they were just being tossed to the wayside, and or people are being told pretty much, fuck off, I don't care, by the director, which just doesn't solve anything. So
okay, yeah, unsurprising. But I've got a question. You mentioned the CIA earlier. Did you or any other detective have any knowledge of the of any kind of black site operations that Brian was talking about, like with Sanguinians, like taking them and questioning them or anything like that, advanced interrogation, anywhere up at Bolingbrook with a torture room?
Okay, yeah. So I don't know about torture. I was shown a room by the warden Bowman. He pulled me aside. He said, "Luke, I want to talk to you." And I was up there. This was probably about 4 or 5 days before the actual conflict on Sanguine, when we were kind of preparing everything, right? And so he goes in the SCT, that building that they have, that's their office, and off to the side or whatever, their administrative building that's outside the gates. And he shows me one room where I guess Shelly Smith was held. It's called the White Room. It's like a maximum security room or something, but apparently she escaped from there, is what Brian said. I don't know. He said, this is a good room to keep people in or whatever, if you need to keep them away from everyone else, blah, blah, blah. And then he showed me a room that has this red door. He had a key card. He put it in there. We went up there, and it was a pretty plain looking room. Had some black metal or something on the walls, had a chair, and it had a board full of hand tools up on the wall. And he started talking about if we need to interrogate somebody, enemies of the state, so on and so forth. And I said, I have no idea if that's even in the cards, something like this. I don't know anything. I don't know what to really make of that. You know what I mean? I'm a police officer. I don't torture people for interrogation. So, but I understand it's war. It's different. I just kind of brushed it off. He gave me a key card to the room and said, if I need to use it, please do, and to let Brian know that it exists. I let Brian know that it exists. Brian didn't seem too interested in it or using it, and that was pretty much all my experience with it.
Good to know. All right, then. Yeah, I mean, thank you for keeping me informed on this stuff, and yeah, I look this is the thing. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of, and I want to make it really clear because I would understand if there's concerns with High Command and MCU and stuff right now and a bit of uncertainty. I was really excited for MCU because I've been a detective in the past. I've done it, and I was excited to have